Welcome to part 2 of Jason's final thoughts. Knight's Journey of Dreams. Okay, truth be told, as you can see, I changed my shirt, and it's been like a few hours, and it's like it's already dark, freaking daylight savings. So I guess it makes sense to talk about Knight's Journey of Dreams. So, why did I choose Knight's Journey of Dreams? Not a lot of people know of this game. No one really talks about this game all that much. Well, this was the game that actually introduced me to the Knight series and what it's gonna be. This is the sequel game for Knights into Dreams, and it's, well, let's just say, yeah, that's what I started with. So, here's the thing. This is pretty much the same thing as the Sonic Heroes and Sega Superstars Tennis. I own Knight's Journey of Dreams, but I actually grew up to the point where I keep the disc in the box, so I didn't scratch it. But it's another instance where I stopped playing it and I picked it back up because this was actually one of the games that I actually traded in for GameStop. And like trading games, it's really, really like, you barely get anything from them. But me being a kid, being like, hey, you know what? Let's give those away to GameStop, and that's what happened. Until a few years later, when I actually saw the game and I decided to pick it up again and play it. Now, fun fact, I did not get to the true ending or normal. I did not get to any of the endings when I first got the game, because the furthest I actually got was Helen's second stage, and I think also Will's second stage, because I didn't know what to do against both of the bosses. In fact, Will's first world and his boss is a boss that I actually got stuck on. You know how you see me, it's like very easy to clear. Well, yeah, I was a kid. I didn't know what to do about that. So, I've already gone ahead and talked about what story is what. So, let's go ahead and talk about the story. So, the story is Will and Helen have different types of dreams. Will's dream involves him playing soccer with his dad. And then all of a sudden, his dad leaves for, the whole meme of, oh, dad went to buy milk but never came back. But no, he had a business trip and he basically left Will by himself. And in the beginning, you see like his soccer, or since it's a British game, football teammates laughing at him and then turning into shadowy figures, and that's how Will comes into his dream. Helen, on the other hand, is actually kind of interesting, where her and her mother are practicing for a violin concert when all of a sudden, like, she has like a phone call, or not a phone call, she has like a buzzer that allows her, oh, it's time to hang out with her friends, which leaves her mother pretty lonely because the recital is coming up and they need to practice. While Helen is out with her friends, she notices a violin and she feels guilty about leaving her mother by herself until, just for some reason, the mother turns into a monster ghost, and so does her friends as she gets chased, and that's how she arrives at the Dream Gate. Both Will and Helen meet Owl and Knights. Owl explains about the Dream Gates and all of Knightopia, all the while Knights finally finds the kids and they teach them how to fly. Basically, the entire game is each of the kids goes through 3 worlds, do the mission, and all the meanwhile, the first mission is that Knights gets captured by the Nightmares, which are basically the underlings of Nightmare. As we continue, they are confronted by Riala, Wiseman's right-hand man. Wiseman being the mastermind behind Nightmare. The kids rescue Knights, defeat any of the big bad Nightmares, and they continue going through their worlds and reminiscing about their present states, and recognizing about like how Will is always lonely and how Helen should have always been there for her mother. Afterwards, okay, now here there's a normal ending and actually a true ending. In the normal ending, they find stairs and the kids walk up them until Wiseman actually enters the dream gate, takes away Knights, and the kids must fly through Bellbridge, which is their hometown, in order to rescue Knights together. All the while beforehand not knowing that both of them actually knows who Knights is. When they free Knights, they face off against Wiseman and destroy Nightmare. In Will's ending, he plays his big soccer match and he was able to score the winning goal. And his teammates come over. One of his teammates looks like me when I was younger. I made a joke about that in my video. And that's how Will's normal ending goes. In Helen's normal ending, she and her mother play at the violin recital, and they do so well that the audience cheers for them, where Helen's friends are as well. And that's pretty much her normal ending. Now, as for the true ending, and I'm gonna wrap up the story. In her true ending, both of the kids find the last Idia, the Idia of Hope, which is the yellow one, until Wiseman takes Knights and the Idia, while Will and Helen have to go ahead and chase to rescue Knights. Once they rescue Knights, however, Riala shows up and has the kids by their necks and challenges Knights to a fight. Knights defeats Riala. Them and the kids go and try to face Wiseman, who tells the kids that if Knights were to defeat Wiseman, if Wiseman were to ever be defeated, then all of his creations would disappear. And it turns out, in the story that I didn't mention, Knights was actually a Nightmare created by Wiseman, which would also make them and Riala siblings of sorts. So if Wiseman were to be destroyed, everything, including Knights, would completely disappear. Can I just say, I really like that moment. I really like that moment because it shows like the kids who have traveled with Knights for so long and didn't even know that, thanks Owl, that if Wiseman was destroyed, then their friend that they met would no longer exist. But with Hearts of Steel, they were able to defeat Wiseman. Knights disappeared, and there's actually an additional scene of the kids crying because of Knights disappearing. Their endings also end pretty much the same. The violin recital and the football match. I'll say football because it's British. Okay, I already made that joke. But in the true ending, it turns out that while walking home, Helen decides to stop on like a theater stage, and Will accidentally kicks his ball to the theater stage. The lights go off, they come back on, and Will and Helen meet for the very first time outside of their dream, with snow coming down and a nice, beautiful rendition of Dream Dreams, the Sweet Snow version. So overall, that was kind of a lot to unpack. But overall, I think it's an interesting story. It's, again, pretty basics. Like, people meets friend is, like, very helpful and all that. It's pretty basic. But a part of what I like about this is like the characters and their contribute to the story. So that goes into my characters, and I'm gonna talk about the characters. I don't know, there's not really much of a non-impactful or most impactful like there was with Sonic and the Black Knight, because I feel like all of these characters, I have something to say about them. So I guess we should just do the kids, because we're gonna talk about the kids, Owl, Knights and Riala, and Wiseman. So I think the kids, Will and Helen, I think they have a really good development. Like, they acknowledge their flaws and they want to better themselves, which they're kids, so if it feels like that's like very mature of them to actually figure out, oh, you know what, maybe I should be better at trusting my friends with Will, or you know what, maybe I should spend more time with my mother, like with Helen, like Helen's thing. I also really like the cutscenes where it's actually revealed that Knights is a nightmare. It happens in both of their third worlds, but they have like such different reactions. Will just stumbles upon it and is shocked to hear about this and questions Owl, who he later says is true. We'll get to Owl later. And then I think a really good cutscene though was with Helen, where Riala literally openly admits to her that Knights is a nightmare. And just like the shock and betrayal that Helen's emotion has, it doesn't really show much with their in-game human models, but again, we'll get to that. But like you can like hear, like feel like Helen just, oh, like the betrayal, the shock, just everything. Like she's just like shocked like someone so nice could be on the bad guy side. But yeah, I do like the kids. I liked how they got resolved, and I thought it was like a really nice way to tie things up. Now as for Wiseman, I'm actually doing the main antagonist second before the main heroes. Wait, I've done that before with Marlena. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about Wiseman. I think he's a really good antagonist. I think he's a pretty good antagonist. Like, he's more ruthless, and he doesn't like treat, I wouldn't say like he treats his like minions, I wouldn't say badly, but he treats them with no respect, I should say. Like, he's kind of stubborn. He's too stubborn to listen, though, of the fact that Riala has very important information that is very important, that could literally help, but he just says like, no, I talk, you listen. Like, dude, this is important. But yeah, other than that, I do like his voice. I do like how like deep and menacing it can be. I'll discuss the voice acting later, but yeah. But now I got the main antagonist out the way. It was really short and sweet. I really want to focus on, in my opinion, my two favorite characters in this entire game. Knights and Riala. Let's talk about Knights first, because I never seen a character that acts similarly to Sonic, but not be as much of a copycat as him, but still is more original and just fun to watch. Like, their attitude and personality kind of matches Sonic. They're both free spirits, they're both cocky, and they both like to take matters into their own hands when necessary. They both also hate being restricted. But Knight still feels so original, probably because of their design and like the way that they can fly on their own. And Sega even knows this, like, cause like Sega really likes putting Sonic and Knights together, mainly with like the Knights building in SA2 or the Knights Chow. Like, they really like referencing Knights in Sonic games, and it just makes me wonder, why can't there be another Knights game? But I digress. With Knights is like a character that really sparks well with the kids. They cheer them up when they're down. They're pretty much like homies to the kids, and it's just really just great. I still wish like Knights would stop being captured so much, but that's neither here nor there. But then we get to Riala, probably my favorite villain henchman in any type of media. I love how sadistic he is, how threatening he is, and how maniacal he can be. But also how loyal he is to his boss. Even though Wiseman doesn't treat him all that well, Riala is so loyal to Wiseman that he's willing just to like berate Knights and just like be more like try to be more dominant than Knights. I do really like that scene in Will's story where Knights and Riala basically chat. Like, they don't know that Will or the visitors around. They just literally chat saying like look, Master Wiseman wants you back, and I'm going to do that. So you either come with me, or you either come with me willingly, or I'm gonna have to take you in by force. Like, in that scene, like, he doesn't believe. I know I say he, it's they, but I just flip-flop. Like, he doesn't berate Knights, and he's trying to give Knights a chance for them to join Wiseman's side. With, of course, Knights refusing, and them having to fight anyways. But it just shows, like, even though Riala is supposed to be tough and menacing and whatnot, he's literally scared of his boss. Like, it shows, like, layers to Riala.
I'll deliver your heads to Master Wiseman myself.
I just think, like, the Knights and Riala cutscenes are really well done. And I like how both of them resemble opposites of each other. Like, Knights represents free will, while Riala represents obedience, and they just clash really well together. So honestly, I really like the characters, except for one. And if you've seen my later episodes of Knight's Journey of Dreams, you already know who I'm talking about. Let's talk about Owl. Quite possibly one of the useless guide characters I've seen. I just really don't like Owl like so much. Like, he's always so like stuck up, and he's always stuck up, and he's such a bore. He does literally nothing to help. He's pretty much the exposition owl, but like literally all the things he tells us, Knights can literally just tell the visitors. He contributes very nothing, and I'm still pissed at the fact that he doesn't go more into Knights' character or true backstory. He fails to mention sooner that Knights is actually part of the Nightmarans, but he like betrayed them because Knights believed in what they wanted to believe. He doesn't talk about the fact that oh yeah, I remember that cutscene with Helen when she came back from the Dream Gate, when after Will rescued her. Like, Owl briefly dropped the fact that, oh, her memory might get erased when she leaves. And when Helen questioned that, Owl was like, no, that's not important. Dude, that's like very important. Like, oh my god. And he also neglects to tell the kids that if they were to go up against Wiseman, like Knights would be erased forever. He doesn't even talk about that. That right there is, I'm like very convinced right there that Owl was literally working for Wiseman. Like, these are such important details that he leaves hanging. Like, I'm like convinced that Owl was literally working for Wiseman. And he doesn't want Knights to succeed, or like the kids to succeed with Knights. And like, I think even the writers didn't like him because like during the final act of both stories and in the true ending too, Owl is nowhere to be seen in the cutscenes. Like in the cutscenes, nor near the end, or in the credits. He'd just be like, "Oh, well, I guess we don't need him anymore. Let's just write him off the story." Like, really? Like, you don't give him any more stuff. I don't know. Like, I did not like Owl. He's like literally my least favorite character out of all the games we played so far. But otherwise, I think the story and characters are pretty good. Wow, that was a long segment. And let's talk about the gameplay of Knight's Journey of Dreams. Like, when many people compare this game, it plays a lot differently than Nights into Dreams. In Nights into Dreams, you have to collect Idias by collecting these blue chips and busting them out of the Idia cages and reuniting with Knights that way. And I think you have to do this 4 times? Yeah, 4 times. In Knight's Journey of Dreams, on the other hand, you have to collect the keys from these flying birds and unlock the cages 3 times. This is 3 times, actually. There are 3 worlds per story, and a final world, which culminates into which equals out to 7. 3 from 3, which is 6, and then 1 more, which is 7 worlds in total. I guess technically 8 if you want to count Bellbridge twice. You can absolutely do that. And all around, I do like... Good, I have this. I do like the gameplay and the levels. Flying through is very nice. However, there are a few gripes I have with the gameplay. Like Sonic and the Black Knight, I feel like multiplayer can be better. Why not have us face as a computer player? Or better yet, how about we choose either Knights or Riala instead of it just being player-based? But another thing I just mentioned is I actually have a nunchuck, and on my video I actually used a Wii Remote and nunchuck combo. And like, here's the thing, anytime when I would use this, my thumb would like usually always slip off the nunchuck. So like when I hold for like a short period of time, it just like slips off, and I have to... You can use this with a Wii Remote Solo or even a GameCube controller. But I like using Wii Remote Nunchuck combo because like that's the one that I always use. So yeah, other than that, the gameplay was fine, and I liked going through the worlds. The drill dash was fun. Yeah, if you want to use a tutorial, they have the tutorial on it. Now for bosses. Okay. Bosses are kind of hit and miss. There's like one boss I really dislike, which we'll get to. So I'll give like a rundown of the bosses in order. So Will's first boss is Dombalon. It's like, this is the boss I got stuck with. It's piss easy. Like, all you just have to do is push Dombalon up. That's all you have to do. And make sure he gets to the end. Helen's first boss is Garanyan, a fish with a mustache. So what you have to do is basically, you have to touch the fish, it pops, and you have to circle through all these balls and try to like suck them up with the parallel. Oh my god, that sounded very wrong. I apologize. Otherwise, it's also really easy. Will's second boss, Chameleon, I think. I don't know how to pronounce that. This one actually kind of stumped me even when I actually came back. Until I realized you have to keep paralooping, but you also have to follow the cards as well. You have to follow the card and like to where it's gonna, to like where he is. If you follow the cards, just try, and you see him, just paraloop again, and you got it. It's actually really not that bad. Helen's second boss, Bamamba. My least favorite boss in the entire game. So what this witch does is she throws these cat ball things, and you have to try to get all the cat balls into the hole in order to beat her. The controls are so stupid. Like, I feel like you can only tilt left, right, and forward. You can't tilt it back. Or maybe you can tilt it back, but you can't tilt it forward. Either way. And then you have to just keep flying to the next one and flying to the next one. It's frustrating and boring. It's so boring because, like, you just have to wait and just try to get it in. Avoid her green fireballs or whatnot. It's not fun. It's not fun. Will's third boss, Cerberus. Now this is a fight I like. This is a fight I like. The chase mission fight is 2 heads, but in the actual boss mission fight, it's for 3 heads. You have to use Rocket Knights, or you don't have to, but you can use Rocket Knights to get to the center and make the 2 heads clash with each other. Make them clash 3 times, like in Mario games, then they die. It's a really fun boss, and you just have to try to avoid as much. And I also really like the atmosphere. Like, it's like a gigantic spherical cage that's keeping the dogs in, which is just great. Also, I like how they use the word hell in the Knights game, which is E-rated, to say. I know hell means something else like fire, but yeah. Helen's third boss is Queen Bella. Also, this is also really, it's a really kick-ass fight. What you have to do is you have to try to get Queen Bella to sink into the lava by throwing the web balls on these, like, cage things? I don't know. And make sure she falls all the way down the lava where she burns. And oh my god, it's so brutal. Ay, ay, ay. But yeah, I love the atmosphere. It's like at abandoned woods. The music is also kick-ass, and yeah, it's great. Now I want to talk about Riala's fight. It's not like the Nightmare boss fights, but it's like a mini boss of sorts with him. So what he does is he has these bubblegum looking things, and you have to, like, knock them into him 3 times in order to win. Well, 3 times in Will's first level, 5 times in the true ending. Yeah. Okay, going back to the story, I apologize for this, but I'm talking about his mini-boss. I really wish we found out what happened to Riala. Because, like, we know what happened to Knights. They disappeared, but near the end of the cutscene, they came back. But what happened to Riala after we defeated him? It don't matter. But yeah, I do like this mini-fight, and I'll talk about the music when we get there, so... And it's just really fun. And then we have Wiseman. Now, okay, the final fight with Wiseman. I am mixed on this. On one hand, I think it's I do think it's very incredible that you actually get to use the persona masks that you've collected throughout after each of the worlds, and you have to use them to fight him. Like you have to use the Rocket Knights to get past him, or like dash past him in space, or you have to use the Dragon Knights to ignore his wind, or he automatically gets turned into Dolphin Knights because Dolphin Knights is meta. But I really like that, and you have to hit him 3 times to win. Like, but yeah, I actually like that part of the fight. In the normal ending. Okay, before even making this video, I thought about this fight, and I was like wondering, you know what? I feel the true ending, the Wiseman's true ending boss should be should like add something to make it more emotional. Like, for example, like, I think the boss fight with Wiseman with no changes for the normal ending, I think that would be really good. I think that's really good. But I think the true ending, you know, the thing that's supposed to signal the final fight with Wiseman, I feel like it should add something more. And this is what I thought of. Why not have it be the same? Why not have it be the same, but near the end, after you hit him for the 3rd time, the camera switches to a first-person perspective, and Wiseman's all the way at the end. And then as Knights approaches Wiseman with the front-facing angle, Wiseman tries to bat Knights back by shooting fireballs, but Knights dodges all the fireballs. And then, just after one last drill dash, two Wiseman, and you touch him, and the screen fades to white, knowing you beat him. He could also say that you think to erase me, it is you who will be erased, or something along those lines. I feel like there should have been more with that fight, in my opinion. But other than that, I think the bosses are really nice, and with the exception of Manamba. But let's talk about music and music. I'm just gonna say this right now. For music, I have absolutely no complaints whatsoever. Like, the music is so good. I want to go back to the stages because I neglect to actually mention something about the stages. That I actually have a few favorite stages. The first one. Okay, if I had to pick, actually, I'm not gonna do a ranking of the stages, but if I had to pick one favorite stage from each, Will's would be Delight City. I love the city aesthetic. It looks so much fun to play on, and all the different gimmicks to the city is just great. It's just great. It feels like just like a city where there's a lot to do. Like, you know, Times Square. That's like the only bustling city that features all of the stuff that I can think of, because yeah, that's NYC. In Helen's stage is actually her first stage, Aqua Garden. Aqua Garden is like, it's just so peaceful. It's just like a little garden that's underwater, and just, I love the look of it. It's so, like, it's short, yes, but it's great. And now this culminates into the music topic. Like, Aqua Garden has to have my favorite music piece it has to be my favorite music piece in the game. Like, it's just so beautiful. And if you recognized Aqua Garden, it was actually in Sega Superstars Tennis. I actually mentioned that before starting up the video, because I actually didn't mention that. I should have mentioned that sooner, which, yeah, bad part of mine, but what you gonna do? I think Delight City is also great. I think all of Will's stage's music is great. I forgot how underrated Crystal Castle is. Like, I didn't think of anything when it came to Crystal Castle, but when I played it again for the game, I enjoyed it on a repeat playthrough. I actually enjoyed playing at Crystal Castle. I thought it was just gonna be like, eh. Sorry guys, something fell over. But I was gonna say that yeah, Crystal Castle is very fun. But now, as for boss music, I think the boss music's fine. I talked about how I loved Queen Bella's fight. If you guys haven't heard it, just listen. It's so good. And this game actually has remix songs. It has a remix of Growing Wings, which is basically the Twin Seeds song from Nights into Dream, as the first half of Bellbridge. Can I just talk about how beautiful Bellbridge is? With the stage gimmick and the music change. The music change has to be one of my favorite music changes I've heard. There might be some competition, but it's like really, really good. Because the song is called Cruising Together, and it has the chorus of Dream Dreams. I'll talk about Dream Dreams because, so just hearing an upbeat version of Dream Dreams, just fast paced, is just, so good. And the other remix song is D-Force Master, which is Wiseman's boss theme in Nights into Dreams. Where that had more of a creepy vibe, this one has more of a dramatic vibe. You could like literally hear it, because like there's more percussions, there's more like drums and like horns. It's just, it's just so good. So good. But then I need to talk about Dreams. It's such a beautiful credit scene. It's so warm and it's just so beautiful. I think it seems about like having a dream of finding someone, finding true love and just finding someone who I really care for, and it's so good. Normally I'm not into all the romance gushy ooh cute stuff. I'm not. But this, guys, listen to Dreams. It's so good. And there's actually a lot of versions of Dreams. There's the one with Nights into Dreams. There's the kids version where the kids sing it. There's the adult version, which is very PG. Let's just keep it at that. It's incredibly PG. It's where the adults sing it. Alright, let's just get right there. But there's also, I think there's the acapella version, and yeah, there's just so many versions of Dreams. And there's even the Sweet Snow one, where it turns out that the person who sang the Sweet Snow version actually sang the original Dreams when she was young, when she was a young girl. But now coming and singing it as a full-fledged adult, it's just, that's really cool. That's really great dedication that they actually got someone who sang that when she was a young girl. It's just, see, like, the dedication with the Nights series is just so great. Alright, graphics and aesthetics. It's a Wii game, so it can be very choppy, but I need to talk about it. If there's a great thing I have to say about the aesthetics, the dream worlds look fantastic. Like, they look very magical, they're colorful, and you could see that there's actually a lot going on. And during the Nightmare bosses, where it gets all dark and gritty, it encapsulates how, like, oh, okay, we need to beat this thing in order to clear Nightmare away. So, I like the backgrounds. As for the character models... Oh, wait. Before we get to the character models, I want to talk about the Nightmare designs. I think the Nightmare designs are pretty good, especially like the boss Nightmares. I think those are really cool. But now I can talk about the character models. First off, the cinematic cutscenes, the 3D cinematic cutscenes, I think they're fine. They're fine. I like them. There's nothing wrong with them. Yeah, like, there's literally nothing wrong with them. They look how they should look. And Nights in Riala, in both scenes and even in game, I don't really find all that bad. The human models, on the other hand, in game, like, Will and Helen, they look like in-game models that you see at arcades. Like they literally look like these characters from the Let's Go Jungle arcade. Hey, it's a thumbnail. If I had to see that thumbnail, you guys do too. And it's just so funny, and like, especially this picture of Helen when she gets transported. Like, that whole time where she gets transported was an absolute joke, even though it's supposed to be an emotional scene. It's just, it's so bad. Now I'm gonna slide graphics and aesthetics with voice acting for this one, because I need to talk about this. The voice acting has been, many people who play this game will always say, like, the voice acting is, like, bad. When I was first thinking this, like, how is it bad? It doesn't sound all that bad to me. Yeah, it's British voice acting, but so what? Until I heard it, and I was like, yeah. Let me just say this. This is absolutely not Xenoblade Chronicles voice acting. It is far from it. Because at least with Xenoblade Chronicles voice acting, the voices are so good and you can feel the impact. This game, no. This game, no. I will admit, the one voice that I actually do like in this game is Riala's. I think Casey Robertson does a really good Riala in this game. Everybody else is just, eh. But I think my biggest problems is Helen's. Like, I think Helen's, like, when I say bad voice acting, I'm not knocking the voice actors, alright? I'm not saying that the voice actors were bad, alright? The voice actors do a lot and they deserve respect. I'm mostly blaming the voice direction. Because with Helen, even in the game, she talks so softly. You can barely hear her. It's like trembling, like I can't see. Like I literally had to turn up the volume so many times during my playthrough because I couldn't hear what she was saying. I feel like it's better. Okay, maybe it's because my TV doesn't have high quality, even though I can hear just fine with it. But it's just, her voice is just so soft and low, and I kind of get why. She's supposed to be like soft spoken, but like there's a way of being soft spoken, but you could also be heard. But yeah, that's just my thing. So overall, I think going back to Knight's Journey of Dreams was such a good idea. It was so nice going through this game again, just seeing all the different things. Before we move on to the next game, and before I give my ultimate final thoughts, I need a scoreboard. So, story and characters. I'm gonna give story and characters an 8. I think it's fine. I think the kids do great, but I just don't like Owl, and I think with all just the moments, I think I'm just gonna give it an 8. Gameplay and bosses, I'm also relatively gonna give an 8. I think it's like it's fine. It's like the gameplay is fine. You can play it, and it's really not that bad. Music, come on. Music, come on. Easy, another easy 10. I'm giving, like, this is literally like Sonic and the Black Knight. Like, none of the music in either of those games are anything I can critique it for. Like, I just really like it a lot. As for graphics and aesthetics, this is gonna take a hit, but unfortunately, all the dream aesthetics won't save it from a 6.5. I think the human models are just so bad. I think they really are that bad. The in-game human models are just really bad. Again, overall, Knights only has 2 games. 3 games if you count Christmas and Knights, which most people do. So 3 games. And as of right now, Knights has been in cameos and references to different types of Sonic media. I mentioned Sonic Frontiers animation. There was a Knights Chow. I remember the Knights Chow coming in Sonic X Shadow Generation. So, oh yeah, and Knights being like an icon. So like, Sega knows that Knights still exist, but seriously, Sega, why can't we have another Knights game? Or like, why can't we have Knights playable in Sonic, or have Sonic and Knights team up? Why can't we have that? It's just like, I'm just sitting here and questioning. We haven't seen a full-fledged Knights comeback in quite some time. Hey, maybe in Sonic Racing Crossroads, they'll include Sega characters and they may include Knights and Riala, who knows? That would be cool though, that would be really cool. But yeah, we are almost done. We are almost done with this video and this. I know it's been so long, guys, I know. But I told you it was going to be long. And we are ending it with the 5th and final game, which is... WarioWare Get It Together! Okay, real talk with you guys before we begin. Can I just say how insane you guys are? Because at this time, it's literally been a month since I've recorded and uploaded WarioWare Get It Together. And let me just say, the moment I uploaded that the view count went up increasingly. Because during the night's playthrough, I got like less than 20 views on those videos. But when I upload WarioWare content, the highest view count is 200 views. Guys, seriously? Okay, 2 things about that. One, I'm actually very glad that you guys enjoyed those WarioWare Get It Together videos. They were fun to play, and they were also really fun to edit and make. On the other hand, why couldn't you have applied those views back to Knight and Sonic and the Black Knight? Come on, those videos also deserve to be watched. Look, I know it's a Nintendo game, and of course Nintendo games are going to be popular with, oh, just take a look at my Mario parties, but my Sega fans, like, I mean, granted, I did have 100 views with Sonic Heroes and Sega Superstars Tennis, so yeah. But no, seriously guys, I do thank you and I really appreciate you guys for all the support, all the likes too. I really support it because this was actually the video that I actually did the most with when it comes to editing. So again, thank you guys. So, why do I like this game? Or why did I choose this game? Well, I said this before, but since now this is a good time to say we need to talk about it since the Switch 2 was announced, and this is like literally the end of the Nintendo Switch lineup. So, why did I choose this game? Well, this is actually a good time as any to bring it up since the Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out soon. It just got announced. Let's just say that with recent years, the Mario side games have been kind of The Mario main games have been fun and they've been great. Like Super Mario Odyssey, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, all that stuff. But I feel like the Mario side games have always been, lacking. And all because of one thing. DLC. What Nintendo, for some reason, or the company likes to do is, they like to release their game, but then add on more as like DLC. In my opinion, I feel like DLC should be a thing like to add on to a complete game. But like, it doesn't feel right. Like, stuff like Mario Strikers Battle League, or even Mario Golf Super Rush, just felt like half-baked, and then add DLC. Oh, we have the entire game for you. It's like, yeah. But WarioWare Get It Together actually feels like it's a Mario side game that feels completed. Like, no add-on DLC, there's different types of mode, and fun to have. And I think I had like so much fun. I always find a way to come back to this game, and I feel like that's what a game should be like. Like, I love replay value, or replayability, so there we go. So, now I got this out of the way, let's talk about the story. And it's actually probably one of the simpler stories of this. Wario and his crewmates has finished their latest game. When Wario tries to test it out, it figures out that the game isn't turning on or isn't working. So with frustration, Wario throws the game up, and the game sucks up Wario and his crewmates. So it's up to them to find a way out of this game. And along the way, Wario finds all the different crewmates. Their levels have been completely destroyed by the game bugs. So each of them decides to go into their games, clear out any of the game bugs, and restore their games to normal. So we have all these characters with their different abilities. And by the end, there's this mega game bug that decides to take over Wario's final game. So the crew decides to go ahead and take it down. After they take it down, and Wario lets the mega bug live, we are interrupted by the supreme developer, or Jesus Wario, as he lets the crew leave the game. When they leave the game, it turns out that Wario is such a bad programmer that he didn't even know that the game bugs multiplied, being into one mega game bug, which caused the entire game to glitch. Pissed, for rightfully so, the crewmates chase Wario until he realizes, oh, three of the other crewmates has also been sucked up but never recovered yet. So the crew go back, they get the crewmates, we get a surprise from Penny, and it turns out that this giant brown thing has been taking all the treasures, has kidnapped the three missing crewmates, and has been giving them riddles to face. After a beanstalk growth and Wario and his crew facing the bird, it turns out that the bird monster was actually Pyoro from his own game that decides to intrude Wario's game because he wants to have fun. And that's pretty much where the story ends. Wario doesn't get the treasure, Master Mantis gives some very nice advice, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, it's a very simple and silly story, but hey, after the seriousness of the last two stories, I feel like this is a really nice change of simple, silly story at the time. Yeah, WarioWare games aren't really all that deep with its storytelling, which isn't a bad thing. So yeah. As for the characters, there are a lot of characters to talk about, so I'm not gonna give them a little bit of a rundown. But I will say that every character is in character. I think out of all the characters that get the most screen time, it's Wario, Cricket, Penny. I think it's just those three, like Wario, Cricket, Penny, Pyoro, I guess. And that's all I can think of at the moment. Oh, Mona. And I guess Mona get the most screen time out of, like, the most lines and screen time. It's mainly just Wario just goofing off and being a greedy bastard that he is, so there's that. So yeah, there's not really much to talk about with the characters. I think they're all in character, and I will say this though. Nintendo, if you're planning the next Mario Kart 9, which you are, and hopefully this gets to you, please add some of the WarioWare characters in. Please, I would love to see, Ashley, 9-Volt, Mona in Mario Kart. Because, you have Wario. You literally have Wario in that series. Just have his ult be his biker outfit, and then you could just bring some of the characters from the WarioWare series. Boom! It's a unique idea. Come on, Nintendo. But anyways, I doubt they're watching this, but yeah, it's a good idea. But now on to the gameplay. Now, the gameplay of the WarioWare series is that you have a batch of microgames, and you have to complete them within 5 seconds, usually like 5 to 10 seconds, basically. And they're pretty much lightning fast, and you have to be get in, get out, and that's pretty much it. With WarioWare Get It Together, they introduced 2 new mechanics: playable crewmates and 2-player co-op. The crewmates have their own different style of gameplay. If you want, examples like Wario in his jetpack, Ashley with her broom, Mona with her scooter and boomerang, you get the idea. If you want me to go through all of the characters and their abilities, I made a video which is a compilation of all the bios that I've done throughout this. Because yes, in this series, I actually went ahead to see these characters' abilities and write bios for them, and also rank them on like a tier list of sort. So if you want to know my thoughts on each of these characters, the bio will be in the description down below. But I'm going to talk about 5 characters. Yeah, but I'm going to be talking about 5 characters and my opinions of them, like right here. And really it's like the two worst characters and the 2 best characters in my opinion. The 2 worst characters are 9V and Pyoro. I think with 9V, him moving back and forth on his skateboard and only shooting up, just like, it's just so frustrating to deal with, and he's so bad in a lot of micro games, and it sucks too because I really like 9V. And Pyoro is also pretty bad because he only moves left and right, and he can only shoot his tongue diagonal, and it's just like not really all that fun to play as him. However, my 2 favorite characters that I like to play, who are incredibly busted by the way, are Ashley and Orbulon. Because they both can fly, which is really good in this game. And they can also use projectiles that can move things, and it's just so great. I think I failed to mention this I think I mentioned this in my bios, but Ashley has 0 micro games that are considered bad for her. She is very good to average at the lowest. So there's not a single micro game where she outright is bad, which can't be the same said for Orbulon. Yes, Orbulon is very busted, but there are still some micro games that shows that he struggles with. But I do like the playable crewmates, and it gives everybody a shot because, like, I have to say this right now, I think out of all the games in their cast, the WarioWare cast has to be the most underrated cast of them all. Like, there's not a single character in this cast that I outright dislike. And it's just like, it's so fun just to see them just have fun and interact. And it's just really great. Now for bosses. These bosses are pretty much known as the boss stages. And for the most part, I'm not going to go through all the boss stages, but for the most part, they're really great. My favorite by far, hands down, is the Super Mario World boss stage in 9V's game. Like, you go through a stage of Super Mario World, and you try to get to the end without getting hit. It's so fun, and it's such a nice throwback. Nintendo classics are always like the best part of the micro games. Like, then when people think of WarioWare, they obviously love the Nintendo classics. Like, it's really fun. It's like they're really great. I think that's. Oh wait, there's also the final boss with Pyoro. I actually really like that fight. You use all of the playable characters that you've got throughout the story, and you have to go through a gauntlet where it ultimately ends with Wario trying to take out the giant Pyoro bird. I really like it. It's like a nice reference. Like, you've used these characters, so now you have to use them again. Like, use what you learn, and I like that. I really like that. Now with the music, music is fine. I never really talk about the menu music, which is real because I do like the menu music on some of these games, but I think WarioWare's menu music has so much personality and just so much craziness going on with it that it's just like, it's really great. It's like great music. Also, the music in Jimmy T's cutscene, literally everything about Jimmy T's cutscene is great. The dance that they did at the end, I had to imitate that dance because it was so fun to do. But other than that, the music is just alright. It's actually nothing special. Except for one. And now I can finally bring back, and I didn't mention this in the characters nor the gameplay part, but now I think I'm gonna bring those two with this one character, Penny. I loved what they did with Penny in this. They made her hidden. She wasn't in any of the trailers. She wasn't in any of the gameplay. And she wasn't even in any of the cutscenes, wondering to ourselves, wait, where's Penny? Penny isn't in any of them. But they were planning something special with her, which is the reason why she was kept hidden. Like, she has a unique moveset. Her microgames have her play the microgames with just her and nobody else. And let me just say, Penny's mix. If Sakurai decides to make a Super Smash Bros. 6 for the Switch, for the Nintendo Switch 2, please, please, please add Penny's mix. It's so good. It's such an upbeat girl pop song, and it's just so nice. It's just really great. Look, I'm just saying this right now. I know I said Ashley would be great, but just make Ashley a playable character in Smash. She has a moveset. You just need to look more into it. She has a moveset. Make Ashley playable, please. So I could just play as her against my friends. Yeah, I think Penny's great. I love Penny's mix. So yeah, Penny's great, and Penny's mix is actually the reason why I put Penny tied with Orbulon as my favorite WarioWare character. I've said this before, but I'll pretty much say it again. My top 5 favorite characters: Ashley is number 1, 9Volt's number 2, Jimmy T's number 3, Mona's number 4, and Orbulon and Penny are number 5. Those are my top 5 WarioWare characters. And 0 dislikes because I love them. And then finally, I want to talk about the cast roll. If you noticed in some of my videos during the finale to my gameplays, I always like to do a little bit of a cast roll. It's something I've been doing for a while now, and it just kind of stuck, so I just decided to do it for these games as well. And I think this has to be the best WarioWare cast roll. It shows all the like all of the characters in their cutscenes and just all their names with a medley for their microgame themes, and it's just so crazy chaotic, and it ends so nicely with this scene too, with all of the characters in the game, and it's just like, it's so very nice to see. I just needed to add that. Graphics and aesthetics. I never really cared for the character models all that much in Get It Together. Like, I guess, like, my main problems is Pioro's and his just, like, blank stare. It just, I don't know, it just creeps me out, honestly. I mean, it's not bad or anything, it's just, the models are just kind of for me. I do like the microgame themes and how some of them are hand-drawn while others are like 3D. I think the art for the microgames and the hand-drawn cutscenes are great. What's not great, however, and I'm bringing voice acting back to this, for some reason, WarioWare Gold was like the best with this aspect because it actually had full voice acting with the characters, and the voice acting was actually really good. Hell, there were actually some big names like Melissa Hutchinson, who I talked about, and hell, even Robbie Daymond was voiced 3 characters, which is actually really cool. But I think I know the reason for this. Yeah, WarioWare Get It Together came out in 2021. Do you want to know what happened a year before? Oh, nothing major. Just a life-changing disease that caused a global shutdown. Nothing major. So I could probably see why there wasn't a lot of voice acting. Like, okay, okay, in between the story, no voice acting, I don't really have much of a problem with. But the cutscenes themselves before the micro games are like, it's just so inconsistent. Like, you'll have the characters voice act even though there's no subtitles, so we don't know what they're saying. Or there are subtitles, but the characters don't really say what the subtitles are. I've noticed this during the demo with Wario near that opening scene, where he wasn't voice acted at all. And I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe this is just a demo thing, and, like, they're gonna release it. But it's like, Mona, Cat, and Jimmy T had full voice acting, but Wario was just like, yeah, ha. He didn't read the whole subtitles. And I just thought, okay, maybe that's just a demo thing. No, it happens in the full game too. And it's just like, which is kind of weird because now his voice acting goes into when like his character voice lines, like in like the game and not during the cutscenes. And it's a shame because this game is Charles Martinet's last appearance in a WarioWare game as Wario. So, and it's just, and he's not gonna have full lines for all of his dialogue. Like, what? Really? So yeah, like the voice acting is so inconsistent. There's actually a voice actor who voiced the new character Leo, Todd Habercorn. We only got to hear like 3 lines from him, and then that's it. Another worst offender is Spitz. Spitz's voice actor barely got to contribute much outside of game voice lines. And it's just, I don't know what happened. That's just what gets me about this. That's like my main issue with this game. It's just the voice acting is really inconsistent. It's good voice acting. I like it and it fits the characters, but it's just so inconsistent. Before we get to my overall thoughts of WarioWare Get It Together, we have to do the score. So story and characters, I'm actually going to give an 8.5. I think an 8.5 is fine. It's nothing too groundbreaking, but that's completely fine. Gameplay and bosses. This is gonna shock people. I'm giving this a 9. I'm giving this a 9 because even though there are characters that are better than others, and way better than 9V and Pioro, I think it's still really good gameplay. I love the amount of playable characters that participate in the micro games. I love that there's a really good roster of them, and I just love that you can use this in 2-player, either versus or co-op. Music, okay, Penny's mix carries this, but I'm ultimately just gonna say an 8. I'm ultimately just gonna say an 8 because I like the menu music. Penny's mix, I already said my piece on it, and I do like Jimmy T's music cutscene. Other than that, the music's just nothing all that grand. I'm not even counting the Nintendo music in the Nintendo classics. But, yeah. As for graphics and aesthetics, I'm actually gonna give this one a 7. I do like, I just don't like the 3D character models as much. It's not bad, but I guess, like, Pioro really brings it down. Yeah. Alright, but yeah. Still, even though none of them were a 10, that's completely fine. Yeah, overall, I still like this game. I still find ways to play this. I even bring my friends who are like, my friends are huge Mario Party fans, and I like to just show them this game from time to time, and it's still very fun to play. And Nintendo, please have these characters included more. Like, make Ashley playable in Smash Bros. 6. You can think of creative movesets. Thinking of creative movesets for her wouldn't be that bad. Or like, have some of the WarioWare characters participate in Mario Kart 9. It could give hope to all the other spin-off Mario games that they can show up as characters. So If you could do Donkey Kong characters, you could do WarioWare characters. And that was all 5 games that I've done for Jason's Impactful Games. Wow, what a long video. But, you know what? I had fun with these games. Like, I felt like this was like a huge success for me. Now, of course, I'm not doing this for monetary stuff, but I just wanted to show like my love and passion for some of these games that I've played. And it's like interesting because like there's some things that I haven't done. There are things that I feel like I can improve on, like having better audio, better like volume control, like instead of just constantly toggling on and off the volume all the time. I feel like that kind of got on my nerves when I was editing. And of course there are a couple of hiccups. Like there was the one with Ashley's bio where I didn't include her card, but I included her gameplay, which I fixed during the bios thing. And honestly, like doing the bios in general was just really fun. It's something I'd never really done before, and I kind of wanted to try it out. So yeah, I just wanted to see, like, for you guys who have like tuned in since Sonic Heroes, I'm really thankful. I'm really thankful that you guys stuck around and watched me like ramble, like slur over my words, because I do that so many times. I've done it so many times in this very video because I'm trying to recount things. Like, I have my notes right here, but sometimes I don't look at them because I want to, like, I'm trying to, like, discuss and trying to think of, like, memories of these. And, yeah. Now, there's actually one question. Since I'm done with Jason's Impactful Games, what will I be doing? Well, that's a secret for later. I may continue with plush skills, or plush skits, maybe, but we'll see. However, there's also another question regarding this. You've completed this. Is there a possibility you want to do a season 2 of Jason's Impactful Games? And without a shadow of a doubt, guys, I thought about this, and without a shadow of a doubt, yes. Yes, I do. I would love to do a season 2 of Jason's Impactful Games. Hell, I think I have my 5 games already that I want to do. Because I've been thinking about this for a while. Like, what kind of games? Because, like, I would love to do a season 2 of Jason's Impactful Games. Like, having another fifth 5 set. But until then, I think I'm just gonna relax, focus on getting this video up. Just getting this video up around my birthday. I am kind of on a little bit of a time crunch, so there's that, but that's fine. Oh, but I do plan on releasing my 4th intro, so stay tuned for that. I was thinking of putting it in here, but I think I'd rather put my 4th intro as a separate video. You know, like I've always been. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. This was so a fun series to make, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace and love. Bye, guys.
Congratulations!